Good morning, friends. Michael Breznau here. I hope you're doing well today. When I was about 10 years old, my brother and sister and I decided that we were going to save up money together to buy my mom some pearl earrings. Pearls are one of my mom's favorite types of jewelry, and I will never forget the smile on her face when she opened up that box and saw those pearl earrings that we purchased for her. What's so special about pearls, though? How were pearls formed? Now, most of you probably know that pearls are formed inside oysters. And it's often taught that pearls begin their formation when a grain of sand or some other type of irritant works its way in between the shells and into that oyster, and then layer upon layer, the oyster builds up nacre around that irritant. But actually, more often than a grain of sand, because grains of sand are often able to be expelled out of an oyster, it's actually a type of parasite, like a sea worm or a bug works its way through or in between the shell of an oyster, and then around that parasite, around that sea worm or that bug, the oyster builds up layers of nacre over 1 to 2 years around that irritant, around that pain. And then a thing of beauty is formed. Amazing value, actually. Some pearls off the coast of Australia recently sold for over $1 million. Natural pearls. Pain. Difficulty. What kind of pain are you facing right now? Maybe you have some kind of irritant. Maybe it's like a parasite that's latched onto you, onto your life, a stressor that can't seem to go away. You can't get rid of it. You can't spit it out. It's just stuck there. Maybe it's a financial stress, job stress. Maybe you recently got pulled over by the police and got a ticket or something. Or maybe it's a computer malfunctioning, or relational stress in your family of some kind. Maybe it's a difficulty with children. Maybe it's health issues, physical illness, chronic illness. And these kinds of stressors, these kinds of irritants are almost like that parasite that just latches onto the oyster. The oyster can't expel it, and it must accept the presence of that pain, accept the presence of that irritant. And when that oyster accepts the presence of that pain, beauty is formed. And we're faced with all kinds of pain that latch onto us like parasites. But our response affects the result. Our response determines what kind of result will come from that pain. No matter what kind of difficulty you're going through, we know it won't destroy us. That's what the Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. In the midst of all this kind of stress that we're facing, he says this in chapter 4, 2 Corinthians verse 7 and following. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the surpassing greatness of the power will be of God and not from ourselves. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not despairing, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying about in the body the dying of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may be manifested in our body. For we who live are constantly being delivered over to death for Jesus' sake, so that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our mortal flesh. So death works in us, but life in you. It is even this, that death is the way to life, that pain is the way to beauty, difficulty is the way to maturity, that as we die to our desires, what we want out of life, then God works out His will and His life in us. We receive His life and walk in His life as we die to ourselves daily. But we know we won't be destroyed. We know that affliction won't crush us, that even though we might be confused about what we're going through, we are not in the depths of despair, because we know that through the pain, God is working out a beauty when we accept the presence of the pain in our lives in this beautiful yet broken world. I was walking along the seashore of the Pacific Ocean with my friend Jerry there, and we were in Rosarito, and I picked up this shell. The shell isn't much to look at, but it could have been that inside this shell was a beautiful pearl formed inside an oyster that accepted the presence of the pain. The Apostle Paul writes again how this truth affects his personal life. He said this in chapter 12, verse 7 through 10. Because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, for this reason, to keep me from exalting myself, therefore there was given me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. You see, because of all this amazing instruction, this amazing revelation that the Apostle Paul received from God, he could have become prideful, begun boasting in himself, but God gave him a thorn in the flesh. Look at verse 8. Concerning this, I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. Can this be expelled from my life? Can I get rid of this difficulty? This hurts. And he, that is God, has said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am well content, listen carefully, with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Accepting the presence of pain, even being content with the distresses, with the persecutions, will be God's way of producing a humility, a beauty, a maturity in my life, in your life. So what kind of stresses are you facing today? Are you letting it overwhelm you, or are you trying to spit it out, get rid of it, scream at it? Or are you willing to take that step today to accept it, to lean into Jesus with this pain there, to lean into the problem knowing Jesus is with you through it and in it, and he's working out a beauty and a humility and a maturity through the pain you're going through right now? Take that step today. We're all facing amazing difficulty, varying levels, of course. But I want you to know that I'm praying for you that through the pain, God will work out this beauty and humility and maturity. And I ask that you pray the same for me too, as we go through various difficulties. So here's the bottom line for this morning. Lean into the pain with Jesus. He is working out a beauty, a humility, a maturity in the pain that latches onto our lives like parasites sometimes, to develop in you a Christ-likeness that can't be achieved, that can't be produced any other way. Ivan, I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for your little baby boy who you said to me will also have somewhere in his name Mario. So I'm praying for little baby Mario, whether that ends up being his first name or his middle name. I'm praying that he goes through the surgery as a little newborn baby and is able to recover quickly. I'm praying for your wife, your 2 other children as well. And I'm praying for all the team there at LifeChange and MissionTalk today, for those traveling across the continental United States, praying for your safe travels and that you'll be able to bring the light of the gospel to people along the way. And if you have any other prayer requests, let me know via WhatsApp or text message, or you can reply to this video and I'll put that on my list, and look forward to next time when I get to see all of you again. Thanks so much, and God bless. Bye-bye.